Ladies and gentlemen, I am super duper grateful to be alive, and I'm very happy you're here with me as we inch together through space and time towards the Sagittarius strawberry supermoon. And full moon energy is always weird, a little, in my opinion. But yeah, it is a crazy time in a crazy world, and things are definitely dangerous. The heat has been horrendous, and the wildfires have definitely been very bad and looking like volcanoes. This is Flagstaff, Arizona, I do believe. Dakota Smith showing us more dramatic satellite imagery from this evening. Oh, wildfires raging in Arizona, dust kicking up in New Mexico. Remember, it was just like 3 weeks ago that the super bad wildfires were in New Mexico, and they were in Texas. So they've been gradually spreading towards the west. You had super duper major mega flooding at Yellowstone today, which seems like a very bad sign. And it is going to be one wild summer. So I hope you do your best to appreciate and enjoy the final week of spring 2022. All right, remember earlier today when I was telling you about this sailor man, Michael Saylor, who was telling everybody to buy Bitcoin to like mortgage your house, mortgage your car, borrow as much money as you could to buy Bitcoin when it was at 60,000? You know, the guy telling everybody you could trust Bitcoin above and beyond God. Well, $103 million worth of MicroStrategy, his company's Bitcoin, has been liquidated as it stopped out. Because if you borrow money to buy, like Bitcoin, it's kind of like borrowing money to go to the casino, man. If it ends on green or your number comes up, well, you're screwed. And so when Bitcoin fell below the 21,000 support level, meaning that like he took out a loan for the money, the Bitcoin they had, when Bitcoin was up, and then when Bitcoin's down, they're like, hey, you need to pay us back. Anywho, you got Saturn retrograding in Aquarius. And remember, I've been saying that Bitcoin and crypto are going to have trouble until Saturn gets out of Aquarius, which will be March of 2023. What will happen until then? Who knows? But I bet that Luna and Celsius won't be the only dominoes we see fall, even in this month and throughout the summer. And then, remember the Pluto return, which I talked about? We had part 1 on February 22nd, 2022. And then like 2 days later, Russia invaded Ukraine. Well, the universe is a 3-act structure, and we get part 2, act 2, of the Pluto return of the USA on July 4th. And so now is a great time for heroes, heroines, and super cool people to rise. Do the very best you can with the hand you've been dealt and the place that you're at. That is my recommendation. In good news, it appears the Prayer Warriors and Atmospheric Defense team are going to be at the top of their game this year for hurricane season. Here we see the big city of Chicago, the third biggest city in the United States of America, dodging a tornadic bullet as a mysterious beam zaps it, pushing it up, and avoiding major damage to a major city. I was thinking about this earlier when I was on a walk. You know that in my life, I've lived in Chicago and I've lived in Houston, the third and fourth biggest cities in the world. Although I'm like 33% country, 33% mountain, 33% city. All right, wait, what was I talking about? I'd like to give a shout out again to Asteroid Fight Club, the Army, the U.S. military, the first responders, including police, firemen, EMTs, nurses, doctors. The last 2.5, 3 years have definitely been super crazy. And so shout out again to all the people helping us keep civilization together and standing. And it's just so crazy to me that in the year of 2022, Putin is trying to turn back the clock, go back to old school 1880 Mother Russia, and has been bombing and missiling Ukraine for over 100 days in a row. And look, man, you know that I shoot you straight, try to give you no bullshit whatsoever, and just give you the honest, hard truth. And since I started here, I've been saying, look, we live in an oil and war economy. And so it was just announced today that in the middle of July, President Biden will be going to Saudi Arabia to say, pretty please, can you lower gas prices and ramp up production? It doesn't matter who the president's been, man. I mean, even Trump was like, oh my God, I love Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's like the greatest country that ever lived, and they always pay cash. But for whatever reason, those biggest, USA always seems to, not be the biggest boy on the block. That always seems to be Saudi Arabia. And so hopefully they can work something out. But I'm just saying, 10 years, man. 10 years, we've been in this oil and war economy since, I guess, about 1900. Hopefully one day we'll evolve past it, but who knows? It's a super crazy world. I'm just trying to do the best I can. That's why, I wouldn't get wrapped up in all the, political minutia bullshit. And speaking of that political bullshit, I remember when Jack Posobiec and Mike Cernovich, Elon Musk's and Kim.com's big pals, on the day of January 6th, speaking of January 6th, they were bragging about, Plan B may not have worked, but our Bitcoin is doing great. That whoever paid us off ahead of time in Bitcoin, man, we made a lot of money doing whatever the fuck we're doing. And so they were celebrating on January 6th as the Capitol was burning that, at least our Bitcoin is kicking ass. Anyway. And remember, Bitcoin was at $5,300 when Elon Musk tweeted his bold March 19th, 2020 prediction that the coronavirus would just fucking disappear by the end of April 2020. And that was totally wrong. And then a year later, Bitcoin hit about 63,000 and we had over 30 million cases in the US of A. I was thinking today about how in Furrier Road, I wonder if all the people had heard the legends of ice cream. Back in the day, or maybe even some people have ice cream. Think of what a luxury ice cream would be in Fury Road. Happy Superman Day, y'all. And yes, pretty please, pray for peace. Wouldn't it be great to have the whole world get along? All right. Hopefully, in the fall, I get to do New York City rooftop pub crawl with Julian Casablancas, Michael Che, Colin Jost, Mike Judge, and Bibby Moynihan. And I get invited to Billie Eilish's birthday party. That would be cool, right? Yeah, I think we may have an Earth-directed solar flare coming in, but it's not that big a deal. It's not even an X-class flare, but it did look like there was a lot of plasma pumping out of it. And it's definitely going to be a very interesting week. It was only Monday, Shit isn't very stable right now across the board, really. And we've got an endless pattern of storms that are leaving their mark. And we really have not been that great about fixing and rebuilding all the infrastructure that gets destroyed. All right, I think I just ran out of shit to say, so let's just look at pretty pictures together. Here, Dr. C. Alex Young talking about the sun had been relatively quiet from June 2nd to the 10th. Because we all need to take a break and rest up a bit. But the sun is definitely waking up now. And we are seeing more action happening. Yes, indeed. Bing, bong, hello. Rain just pummeling the foothills of Alberta, says Jacqueline Whittle. Much more to come the next 36 hours. Then a pretty decent soaking up in the Canada. I'd like to visit Canada someday, Yeah, dude, these are really bad fires happening lately. How low will it go? Man, what a wild and crazy 10 days it's been for me. So please let me say thank y'all to everybody out there for all the love, all the support. You guys have just been utterly amazing to me throughout the years at THORnews. And hopefully we can have a party November 23rd for my 10-year THORnews anniversary. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, I think it would. So let's all try and make it to then, because you got to have like goals and things you look forward to in the future. For example, July 8th, Thor Love and Thunder comes out. And when we were at the NASA thing, I turned to Apollo and I was like, "Hey man, what if Thor Love and Thunder isn't as great as I want it to be?" And he was like, "You'll survive." And I was like, "Yay." So that's one thing I'm looking forward to, is Thor Love and Thunder. But I'll be okay if it's not the greatest movie of all time. I think it'll be pretty good though. And then the Strokes are coming to Arlington, Texas to play in the Cowboy Stadium. Definitely plan to be there. And then hopefully we can have a party in November. Would that be cool? So circle the date on your calendar. We'll see if we can figure something out. And it'll be in the middle of hurricane season. And you know, it's usually revved up and ramped up September and October. And then we got to watch out for July. And of course, we'll keep an eye on all the things in June, because that's what we do. Oh, I meant to say this at the beginning of the video, and I'll put it in the end. All right, last year, you had a heat wave hit Canada at the end of June, and it killed like 1,000 people. And so that's when the heat peaked, like the worst of the heat peaked at the end of June. And traditionally, as a Texan, I sometimes think of August as always the hottest. But you know, Earth is changing, our solar system's changing. So what I'm saying is definitely around the end of June, we need to be on absolute super duper high alert for some type of mega heat pulse wave. You know, it could even come in the beginning of July, but because we had some shit like that happen last year, although it was at the Uranus-Saturn square, but it's best to just kind of be ready for something like that around the same time. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So everybody, please stay cool in all the heat. And, you know, just be awesome. As awesome as you can be. All right. Sorry, my full moon energy must mess me up. And please allow me to say thank you to everybody again. And especially thank you to Anne. The postcards from Switzerland. Tyler, Greg, Darlene, Patricia, Alexis, Lauren, Barbara, Glenda, Arnica, Lightsoul, Dan, Marlita, Brian, and Max for your awesome and appreciated June gifts. I'll do my best to keep giving you guys the best of THORnews as best as I can. I hope you have a great, I guess it's early morning, and enjoy the full moon. It is definitely colorful and shining. God bless everyone. Oh yeah, but we are going to try to have a great 4th of July this year. That's at THORnews. We get excited. I get excited about 4th of July and Christmas every year. This will be the 10th year that I get excited about 4th of July, and I get excited about Christmas, no matter what's going on. So that's going to be my attitude again. And so let's do our best to appreciate all the freedoms we do have in our country, you know, and for freedom around the world. Hopefully we can start taking bigger steps forward. Yeah, it's going to be crazy as, you know, all the power vacuums are out there and happening. All right. My words be failing me, so I should shut up now.